I think, man, I can't remember. Oh, man, I love that movie. And I can't remember how the scene goes. But however it goes, he's like listing off fish. Somebody says that he can, and then the other dude asks him, "What's the state fish of Hawaii?" Of Hawaii. He's like, "Huma huma nuka nuka apua." Yeah, bitch. Man, I gotta watch that movie again.
I don't know when the last time I saw that movie was.
Fucking great movie.
What's going on, Justin?
What's up, Guy?
What were we?
Somebody's gonna think your name is Guy now.
Guy? Like that's my actual name?
Yeah.
No, they won't. You introduce me every episode.
No, not this episode.
Not unless if this is their first episode.
Welcome, everybody. This is Guy.
Guy DiLisio.
Yeah, no, that can't be your last name if your name is Guy. It's gotta be like
if your first name is Guy, I think your second name has to be your first name still.
Guy Charlie.
Guy Thomas.
Thomas.
See how that goes? Guy Spencer.
Spencer's a last name?
Sure. You can make anything a last name.
I mean, Thomas is the last name.
Yeah.
W-S-T.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's, Jose said he's getting together with him soon.
Oh,
Doing
yeah.
something like playing pool down at Greenfield soon.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Erick, you ever met Wes?
No, I don't think so.
He's the one that did the Apothic Nights album with Zay.
Oh, no, I haven't.
That's Wes T. Yeah. He's a good dude. Real good dude.
He's tight.
Yeah.
Cool as fuck.
Cool album.
That's my dude.
Definitely hilarious.
Ooh, you know what? One of my favorite beats I've ever produced. I sampled Casper.
The Friendly Ghost?
Yeah.
For the mattresses.
And it was for a song he did. Ooh, we could play this one. This is tight.
It's the cool thing about knowing people that make music. We kind of got the rights. We don't, but we kind of do.
Well, I mean, if Casper ever heard, they're probably going to be heated, but fuck them.
Ghost can't hear shit.
Like, you don't even spend no time on the internet. All see-through ass bitch.
Talking shit to Casper on the internet. Do you think ghosts can have Twitter accounts? If robots can, ghosts should be able to have Twitter accounts, right?
They should.
Casper has to have one. I hope he does. And his three mean uncles, you remember him with the movie with, what's her name, Christina Ricci, I think? They're in the Casper like animated film that came out in the 90s. You remember that one?
Yeah, that's what I sampled.
Oh, really? That movie is what you
Yeah.
sampled? I mean, there's so much Casper to sample. It could be the cartoon, all the other cartoons.
There's a particular piano melody that gets played every time that a scene gets either like emotional because of the mom, or the mom shows up, or something is referring back to something about the mom. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. There's a particular like piano, and I sampled that piano.
It's called a leitmotif.
For Wes T.
Called a what?
A leitmotif.
That's his son.
I've heard this song so many times, and I've always thought that this piano riff was really familiar. And now that you tell, I'm like, holy shit. Yeah.
Boy, y'all need to check that shit out. Start clapping. Fuck rapping. Y'all can look that up. Midwest T. And Superstar's the name of that particular hit, if I must say so myself.
Is that one on Spotify?
No, it's on SoundCloud.
That one's on SoundCloud. Catch it on SoundCloud.
Hell yeah. Live from SoundCloud. Oh, what time is it? It's about 8:17. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what day it is. 17th? Ooh, would you look at that? 8:17 on 1/17, 2020. My name is Justin. To my right and your left, that's Guy. Guy Spencer. And in front of us is Erick.
Yo.
And we're the hosts of the Lone Ranger vs. Tonto up in this hole. Guy, how about you start us off?
Yeah, I'll start us off. But I just wanted to let everyone know officially that
Fucking Guy.
Changed my name to Steven. And so I won't go by Guy anymore.
Oh, the paperwork
Justin,
went through?
Please. Yeah, it did.
Okay,
it
cool.
did. It was tough to get, it's as easy to get the process that I took to dissolve the marriage I was in was about the same process it is to change your name. It's like a little bit of paperwork. You show up to not even it's just like a court window, and they just see all kinds of people and they just get through people as much as they can. Everyone's like case maybe takes like 2 minutes because it's all just like bullshit. And most of them are people changing their name, and they have to, well, in Florida at least, you have to like give a reason of why you want to change your name. And then the judge decides if that's like a valid reason to do so. And then once they say yes, you're like, cool. And then you go pay them a fuck ton of money to file the paperwork, and it's official. And that's pretty much the same thing you had to do to get marriage dissolved in Florida too.
Can you believe this fucking guy?
Change his name out here.
Guy Spencer, I don't know, having 2 first names and a first name of 2 first names, that's really just anybody. I thought Steven DiLisio had a better ring to it.
Yeah, I think of Guy as more of a word. I'd be like, damn, you got a word as a name. That's crazy.
Just a word as a name?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Normally,
trying to think if I know anybody who has a word as a name.
I know some fine young women that have words as names.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Like who?
Shout out to Dandy Dance. I don't know, like Precious. I'm sure that's somebody's real first name, but see?
Yeah.
I know that I can't even think that.
I've met a family of kids that were all named different bottled water names.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. I only knew one of them, but his brothers and sisters all had a name that was a water name. I knew Evian, but I didn't. And none of them are spelled the same way.
Is one of them Aquafina?
Yeah.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
But again, none of them are Aquafina.
None of them are spelled the same way as like the brand.
But it was Aquafina.
Yeah.
Isn't there like an actress that's called Aquafina, or like a model or something like that? I've seen the name.
She just won a fucking Golden Globe the other night.
For real?
That's what it was.
This is a thing. Fuck.
She's badass. She's really funny. I think she's might be a comedian too. Like YouTube star, like blew up, got famous. And I don't know.
Is that her real name?
American actress Awkwafina, AWKWAFINA.
I think it's kind of like, when Brazilian people get famous, they like, you only get to take on one, or you don't only get to, but you take on one name as like a sign of fame from Brazil. And I think it's like that is what I assumed. Like sometimes it's your last name. Usually it's your last name. Like, do you remember Nene? He used to play for the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Brazilian, and like people know him as just like Nene, and like that's like a status symbol of celebrity in Brazil. And
that makes sense.
That's just what everyone calls them. What's the soccer player? Ronaldo? Was he the Brazilian?
Ronaldinho. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all people call him.
Ronaldo,
Like, if they refer to him in that country, they'll only refer to him as that, and they won't use their first name. But it's a good thing. Well, in their culture, it is. So I thought it was just like that, where it was just like some cultural thing where she only used one name. I don't know.
Is that right, huh?
Well, according to Wikipedia, Nora Lum, known professionally as Awkwafina.
She made that name up. See, that's not the same thing. You made your own name up. But if somebody named you Aquafina, somebody named me Dasani, I'd be fucking here.
I think it was
trash.
The other one.
Couldn't name Fiji. Fiji's pretty cool.
Or Voss.
Voss, yeah.
At least that looked cool. I don't know. I bet most of those waters are just Denver water.
It's probably true.
Just filled up and put somewhere else.
It's probably true. If you look at especially the like generic brands, you look at that, and if it just says like from some spot in Ohio or from some spot in Denver or from some spot, there's like a few different little like specific places, and then it'll say filtration, reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis is what they do to all water. Like that's like the beginning of filtration. So when they say that, they're typically using just tap water.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because there's some that come from
Denver
springs.
was pretty special with using reverse osmosis, because I'm a little familiar with the process from brewing because people will RO their water once they get it in most other places that don't get RO'd water out of their tap. And I've heard that Denver and like one other place in the U.S. has it.
Well, I think there's more than two. But wherever those places are, it's just tap. That's what I'm saying. It's just tap water.
It's just tap water.
One of them's probably in
those.
Ohio, because I know that that there's a spot in Ohio that puts out a lot of water.
From what I know about it, though, I was listening to a whole like thing about reverse or just a water thing, but the yields from it that the RO process, the in to the out is like 10%. So like if you put in 100 gallons of water, dirty water that you need to RO, you get out only 10 gallons of clean water. Like the process is crazy inefficient in that way. And I'm not sure if that's because that's the level of RO devices that like brewers use, because that's where like what I'm familiar with. And they could also have ones that are much more efficient, but I would guess even if smaller ones, the bigger they get, they probably will get more efficient, but still that it's not putting in 100 gallons, getting out 99. I'm guessing the efficiency is still a lot lower.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. And so I'm sure that's why it's not everywhere. And, but yeah, that's the best water you can get, because reverse osmosis water is like the closest you can get to, pH 7 water, which is why brewers want it, is because then you can change your water profile appropriate to the natural water conditions of maybe the style that you're trying to make at that point, or trying to add salts or bases in there to, change.
You're talking about making beer, right? Okay.
Yeah. To change the way that flavors or compounds kind of develop throughout the whole process. So why?
Yeah. So what's that do to the taste, though?
It depends on the compound. Right. Man. So if you have one thing is really popular right now is like the hazy beers, and those
what's that mean?
So the hazy, it has like the opaque look to it. It's not clear when you pour it.
It just look unfiltered.
Yeah. Well, not unfiltered. They do look like that, but there's lots of unfiltered beer that is just clear and it settles out. But this doesn't settle out because of a protein structure, blah, blah, blah. There's people who will say it's like bullshit, just bad brewing practices that makes beer like that. And then there's people who like them a lot and say, no, it's actually just a product of the process of the way that we do this. It is a product of it. It's not part of it. And I don't really give a shit either way. I just think they taste good, and a lot of people do. And there's some really great ones, some really shitty ones. But
you ain't bring no beer with us?
No, I didn't bring any.
Son of a bitch. You want to try some beer right now?
Sure. You have some?
I mean, nobody's doing nothing, right? We've only been on the podcast for 10 minutes. There's no reason why we can't pause real quick, run to the liquor store right down the street, grab some beer, come back, continue this with beer.
Okay. I like
that. Sound cool.
We're going to come back with a new section that we're calling Guy Spencer's Beer Corner.
Hell yeah.
See you guys in a minute.
Fucking A. Yes. Well, welcome back, motherfuckers.
Now we got beer.
We got beer. Beer here.
What beer specifically?
So we have the Colorado Kid from Odd 13 Brewing up in Lafayette, Colorado.
Where's that?
North of here. Where's Lafayette?
No, Colorado.
Oh. It's in the United States. Western United States.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks. Appreciate it. All right. Well, locally sourced hazy India Pale. And, of course, ale. Yo, did you know of these cats before we bought this? Do you know who these people are? Odd 13 Brewing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who the fuck are they?
They're, I don't know how small they are, but they're not a huge brewery. Like, I don't think you'll see distribution outside of, like, the Denver area for them. Maybe to Springs. I could see them maybe getting to, like, Springs, Boulder, Fort Collins, but I would be really surprised if they got out of Colorado.
Colorado, Arizona, and Northern California.
NorCal, huh?
Yo, this one time, back in the day, went to my mom's house. I had to be like 20, maybe 21, maybe 22. I don't know, somewhere around there, early 20s. And went to my mom's house. Went out to the fridge. They had a fridge in the garage, and picked out a Capri-Sun. Love Capri-Sun, boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled that bad boy out. stuck a straw in there, slurped it. Tastes a little different. I was like, what is that? And I went to slurp it again. Something got caught. And I'm like, they ain't supposed to be like strawberries up in this. What the fuck? That's what my mind thought about right away. It's got to be a strawberry. Fucking idiot. So I clipped the top open like that. And I poured it out into a glass, and it had started to ferment and mold, essentially. And it was just big chunks of gross white green shit.
Ooh.
And I had taken a little in the mouth already, like, what the fuck? Spit that shit out, blah, blah, blah. But before that, I tasted the Capri-Sun, like just one first drink, and it tasted a little off. That's what this beer tastes like.
Fermented sugars.
It tastes like that Capri-Sun that just was not right, boy.
But what do you smell anything different? Do you smell anything in the beer? I don't know if you can smell it drinking it or smelling it out of there.
Yeah, it smells just fine. Just need my nose don't work, boy. I just sniffed some of that shit up.
How's that?
It smelled like sweet beer.
Is it sweet though to you?
It tastes like a Capri-Sun that got a little funky. Not gonna lie. Not lying to you. Is that what's hazy about it? It's the Capri-Sun shit?
I think so. Yeah. Eric, what do you think of it?
It starts off smooth and then it gets really strong flavor.
What's that flavor taste like? What's it smell like? You got a cup? Oh, you working with a can too. This fucking guy over here with his fucking cup. Like the beer can just won't do it.
This is shaped like a beer can.
Sure. Comes from Coors. Coors invented the beer can as it is now.
The double, I'm pretty sure that double wide mouth can
Boy,
is
this
Mountain
can-
Dew from like 1995.
Okay, maybe
remember
that
when
part
that
right
came
there. Yeah, but I'm talking about the whole part of having this little
The ridge?
everything. And as a matter of fact, they still make all kinds of cans to this day. And I know before they were like the only supplier of cans for a while, like back in the 70s and shit.
Holy buckets.
Could have made that up. I'm pretty sure I learned that on the tour though. Could be made up though. I don't know shit, guys.
I know they had they do. I don't know if they made cans. I didn't know that. Because like the Ball Corporation makes a lot of cans. Like the one that makes all the mason jars, and they make a ton of cans of bottles.
Like Ball
and-
Aerospace?
No, like
That's not the same company?
maybe. I don't know.
I'll keep going. Sorry.
Like, you've never seen that emblem? Ball? It's like a kind of script cursive B-A-L-L. It's on like the Ball mason jars. It says,
I don't know what a Ball Mason jar is.
You know what a mason jar is?
Yes,
yeah?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a B. I always thought it was a P.
You thought it was Paul?
Something like that, yeah. Huh.
P-A-L-L.
So they're the ones
Pal.
that make it.
Yeah, and they make all kinds of like I said, glass bottles. I think a lot of like the bottles that just like your normal like 12-ounce Coors bottle, Bud Light bottle. I think they make most of those, and ton of cans, ton of different kinds of cans.
But what I'm saying is that before you had this little tab and you opened the can that way. Back in the day, you used a can opener, and you would open beer that way. You open anything that was canned that way.
Mm-hmm.
And Coors, again, I might not be making this up, but I'm pretty sure Coors invented the can as we know it today. Now, Mountain Dew did do the wider one that had been implemented since on most drinks.
Mm-hmm.
But
you're saying they were the ones who invented like the pop top can.
I guess I don't know, man. The
I think
can,
that
boy,
is
that's
true.
all they said was the can at the place, and I was like, "Oh, damn, that's crazy."
Cans.
I just accepted it. I didn't ask no questions. You have the questioning Coors now.
We
Why
should
would they
always
say this?
question Coors.
Well, I meant like the factory. You don't question the factory. You're like, this is the tour.
Yeah. Well, so do you like the beer, Eric? You kind of take another drink.
I like it, but I don't know if I would like go back and be like, oh, I'm gonna get that again.
True.
You
Like it's an experience.
It tastes.
an experience.
I bet you would really like Capri-Sun that fermented.
That sounds so. The name for something like that, or fermented lemonade. So if you just make lemonade and then let it ferment with some kind of yeast, or just let it naturally ferment, it's called skeeter pea, and that sounds a lot like skeeter pea.
What's skeeter pea?
What I just described.
Yeah, but like what is
Fermented
it?
lemonade. It's lemonade.
Oh,
that
like
you
they let
ferment.
it. Oh shit! Like and they let it like get chunks.
No, the chunky thing that's happening in there. I don't know how.
I think that's where a lot of the flavor came from.
I don't know what was going on there, because I would assume that a Capri-Sun should be a pretty closed system.
Well, actually, I sent a letter. I didn't even send a letter. I sent the whole thing. I put it in a.
You UPS'd it back to
No,
him?
yeah, I was pissed. I was like, these fools are gonna fucking get sued, boy. This might be my ticket out the hood. I didn't know. So I was like, I'm gonna go send this. So I put it in like what do you call it? The plastic
Ziploc
shit.
bag?
They used to have. Come on, ladies used to have like whole parties about them. What do we call them? Tupperware.
Yeah.
Put in a little Tupperware thing. Boom! Like sent the whole juice. Did a little thing because I went online and found their address. Sent it the next day, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe 2 months, 3 months later. They sent a letter. Basically said that during the tripping process, because of the juices, the liquid and the sugar, if the temperatures in these places that store them go up and down, it speeds the fermenting process. Blah blah blah. All you got was fermented Capri-Sun. Sorry, here's a voucher for more Capri-Sun.
Here's more
I'm like,
Capri-Sun.
fuck you guys. So I really don't drink Capri-Sun that often because I'm kind of traumatized. But
Probably better off.
that was terrible. Anyways, if you go on like YouTube though and you look at like Capri-Sun gross, there's like all kinds of shit on there. People like having the exact same thing that happened to me happen. Except for now YouTube's a thing. This was before YouTube was a thing. It happened to me.
That's gross. That's really gross. Because that means that shit has to be in there already. Because it's a pretty closed system as long as you don't open it up. And so that like just tells me their process of like.
Well, they said it
filling.
wasn't mold. That was what they said because I wrote a little letter thing. I was like, boy, you got mold in my shit. You got 20 days to send something back. I'm going to fuck your ass up with a lawyer.
Yeah.
I don't got no lawyer, but I thought that's the way white people talked about it. So
Yeah.
I was like, fuck
I'm
yeah.
gonna fuck your ass up with a lawyer. That is how white people talk.
Hell yeah, see, perfect. That's because that's what I put on there.
Yeah.
Signed, Justin.
Sealed, delivered.
Signed, Guy Spencer.
Signed, Guy Spencer.
Well, thanks for joining us for Guy Spencer's Beer Hour. This beer is pretty good.
It's cool, I guess, if you like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What are you tasting?
Tasting.
That's
I know I got like a nice like kind of tangerine-ish kind of flavor on the kind of like on the middle and the back end, but
Capri.
it was kind of like little. It's not like too strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get a lot of orange, kind of like orange tangerine flavor in there. A little bitter, pretty light bitterness to it. Sticks around kind of nice. I do like the finish where it's like not too like the bitterness kind of stays on the back of your palate, but it's not overwhelming. It doesn't like make your mouth real dry from like just sucking it all out, sucking all the moisture out of your mouth. It's got a good smell. It's probably my favorite part of it. It smells like guava to me and a little bit of orange. It's tasty. You're looking at me like you're fucking crazy.
Well, I'm just looking at you like your description of this particular beverage is quite detailed. You know. I'm like, man, you got all that?
Justin, you told a
Are we drinking the
3-minute
same
long
one?
story to tell us how you felt about the flavor of this beer.
That was like 45 seconds. About a 45-second story.
You went on a rant about how you mailed them the fucking bag of
That's because that part was tight.
of Capri Pea.
What was that?
Because we had to find out how it ended. Well, what happened? Well, I didn't sue them. They sent me a coupon.
Did you get more Capri-Sun?
No, fuck that. I ain't getting no Capri-Sun. Fuck those foods.
Fuck those foos. Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Capri-Sun challenge?
No. What the fuck is the Capri-Sun challenge?
You try and drink like 10 Capri-Suns in 10 minutes.
Oh, I could have done that back in the day. Easy.
I don't know, man. It's a lot of sugar.
Yeah, it doesn't
Fuck it.
sound hard.
It doesn't
Stick to
sound
the
hard,
face, boy.
but it's.
I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
feel good.
I think Eric should try it.
10 in 10 minutes?
Or I think unless there's 12 in a box.
Should we go to King Supers real quick?
It's like a box of them. Oh, shit.
What'd I do?
Remix. You stepped on something.
Oh, shit. My bad. Okay. I think so. I bet nobody else heard that. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, it don't look like it was on there.
But yeah, I think it's just like a box of Capri-Sun, and there's like 10 or 12 of them in there. And you got to drink them in 10 minutes. It sounds easy until you start getting like bogged down by all the sugar. Because it's like, there's a lot of sugar in each one of those.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're cool. You can slam the first like 6. But then you're looking in territories. I don't know how many ounces do you think a Capri-Sun is? 6?
Oh, it's 15 and 15 minutes.
15 and 15 minutes.
Ooh, that's a gang. That's a gang.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
What?
A lot of vomit alert on videos.
All right, was there anything you wanted to talk about while we drink these descriptive beers?
The beers aren't descriptive.
You were descriptive about them. And
Yeah.
I'm going to remember that about this beer forever.
Damn.
You'd be like, you ever try that shit? I'm like, yeah, you sure. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
Steve, this food
Steve thinks it
went
smells like
off.
something.
You
like
read the
papayas and
ingredients
shit.
list off the bag.
You don't read the ingredients
Yeah, I
list
know.
on the
He's
shit
like,
that
oh,
you
you should taste this sulfate 45. It's incredible. What the fuck?
Yeah, the magnesium sulfate in here is a little bit high for my palate. It's a little bit above my range, and but really it just creates a really nice pillowy mouthfeel in the beer.
What do you think about people that actually talk about that, like that about anything? Whether it's a beer, or there's goofy motherfuckers that do that about weed. There's
Fuck
goofy
weed.
motherfuckers that do that about coffee, wine. Like what?
Yeah, it's fine.
Because I feel like you're in the beginning stages of becoming one of those motherfuckers.
Like a snobby motherfucker. So is it just somebody who like trains to taste these things is who you're talking about, or somebody who is kind of like obnoxious, or you feel like
Well, it's not about being obnoxious. They're just like extra. You're kind of just like, hey, man, how much of this are you making up? At what point did you stop actually tasting the magnesium phosphate and instead taste something like a normal human being? Like, do you do this with potatoes? But do you think like when somebody like that eats mashed potatoes, they start, I could taste what type of butter this is and like goofy things. Like imagine if somebody did that
this
about mashed
cow's
potatoes.
name was definitely Sarah.
Yeah, like, the milk inside these mashed potatoes came from blah, 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 the dairy farm in Texas, and I don't really like that one.
Yeah.
Like-
Is this Texan raised cattle milk in my mashed potatoes? Flip a table.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? But there are people like that about beer and stuff. Like
I mean,
that.
there's people like that
Like
about
wine and shit.
everything.
You think so? Everything? Corn? You think there's a motherfucker like that about corn?
There absolutely is. Like, I bet the corn lobby, big corn, is out there, and they probably employ tons of people who are just there to, decipher if this corn tastes good that they just GMO'd up, and they're trying to make it do X, Y, and Z. And like, but does it taste good? And they got to taste that corn. And they're like, oh, well, I could really tell that this one, I don't know. Fuck, Justin.
Oh, I guess you're right. I never thought about that. There probably is a dude that tells you if the corn, this batch of corn is too sweet, or if this one's gonna go to this kind of can, or, huh?
There's a
Would
corn
you look at that?
enthusiast YouTube channel.
There's a corn enthusiast.
YouTube channel, yeah.
That's amazing.
I used to know, well, I still know her, I guess, but she worked at like a corn lab where it was just a lab, and it was at UF down in Florida, and there was a whole lab that's just dedicated to corn.
But you can get like fuel and shit out of corn and stuff. Like corn,
Or you can
gives
get all kinds of shit from
that. Sugars is valuable.
beer too. I mean, we make a ton of beer with corn just to ferment those sugars because it's so
Aren't most
easily.
Mexican beers corn beers?
A lot of them not. And so when you say corn is in beer, it's generally never more than 50%. And there's
That's a
like,
gang.
Yeah, I mean it is,
Like
but
if
it's
something
also
is 50%, that's what it is.
it's a gang cheaper to put corn in some cases, or
Yeah.
to use like, I mean, they did use corn syrup for a while because really all you're trying to get from the corn is the sugar, and so using corn syrup is
Word.
easier.
I'm just saying that if it's 50%, that's what it is. Or else Drake ain't black.
at most 50%. So it has to be at least like 50% grains.
That's corn.
I mean, what it is overall And so when I say 50%, I don't mean 50% of like the total volume. It's 50% of like the fermentables that go in, right? Not because most of it is water.
Yeah, well, what we're talking about is like you'd say
Your
hops for a different one, hops or wheat or whatever you use for different beers. Well, those beers you call corn beers because that's the majority.
Yeah, and the proper name is just American light lager. This shit smells and tastes like Minute Maid. Orange juice. Yeah, that's the smell I get from it. It is like the same smell of like when you crack a Minute Maid, and it's not like orange. It's orange, but it's like Minute Maid
like
orange.
Capri-Sun.
Like concentrate
Tropical
orange.
flavor Capri-Sun.
I don't know if I would go with like name brand Minute Maid.
I mean, you never been at the airport where that's the only
This shit
orange
tastes like
juice
Sunny
available?
D.
Oh,
It's not good, but sometimes you just got to get some vitamin C.
Speaking of vitamin C, I got a vitamin P real quick.
Ooh. You should also vitamin roll a spliff.
Oh, vitamin roll a spliff. We'll be right back with you. No, speaking of podcasts, we were just talking about like the podcast editing and shit and how we want to do this. And I want to take a moment because I watched the last podcast and I felt like for whatever reason, I don't know if I was blazed or what, but I got like excited about a few topics. And it almost looked like I took it out on you. And I hope that you didn't feel like I was trying to attack you anytime I was rude. I apologize for my behavior.
Never. Anytime you're rude during the podcast, I just think you're talking to Eric.
Is that right?
well, I was gonna say anytime you think he's being rude, just mention MF Doom.
Well, I was being rude. I know that. But I'm just, sometimes when you're rude, it's funny. Like, oh, shit, you did that. No, it's like a funny thing. But I wasn't being funny. I was just being rude. So, sorry about that, buddy.
That's okay.
Eric, will you do me a favor? Will you go close that door here at this undisclosed location? Mm-hmm. So, let's speak about some truths real quick. Truth number 1.
Water is wet.
Mac Miller was scheduled to drop, his family scheduled for him to drop his posthumous. How do you say that?
I think it's just humus.
Humus.
Mm-hmm. Spelled humorous, pronounced humus.
Fucking
or maybe something
posthumous
different that's
not album at midnight last night. And just before that, Eminem decided to drop a surprise album. Now, before we get into if you even listen to any of these joints, do you think that's white on white crime?
Well, to be honest, I think white on white crime is a made up statistic.
But do you think this particular incident is white on white crime?
Like,
as the white man in the room. You the white man in the room. I know I look white. I got my conqueror skin. What am I going to do? But you're the white man in the room. Is this white on white crime? Does this make you feel like, oh, no?
Like Eminem did him dirty doing that?
Well, I mean, I feel like it was said in advance for a few days. We knew that Mac Miller's estate was dropping this posthumous album.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. Mac Miller. And I fuck with Mac Miller heavy. And so I was kind of waiting for that. And then hours before the scheduled release of this album, another iconic white rapper who probably feels like he has to maintain a particular position, because a lot of people call him the GOAT when it comes to rappers. Whether I agree or disagree, a lot of people call him the GOAT, right? So he feels like he has to maintain his thing. And here comes this other white rapper getting all kinds of shine. Not that he did that against him, but does it seem like white on white crime that he would try to drop an album at the same time like that? That's a little weird.
It's a little weird, but here's what I'm thinking. So Eminem obviously had this album lined up, right? He didn't record that shit in the last 3 days and be like, I'm going to fucking record an album and drop it the same day in those amount of time, right? Like that's probably not, that probably didn't happen.
Sure.
So he's got an album ready, loaded, ready to release.
Sure.
So we're either saying that he hears the news and decides to release the album the minutes before to somehow spite or grab attention from Mac Miller's album? Is that the motive we're going with? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I'm asking if that's a possible scenario. Maybe that particular scenario, maybe he's like, I need something, you know what I mean, to pump up my album, and here comes this opportunity. Everybody's waiting for new music tonight. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, the whole hip-hop culture is waiting for new music tonight. If I drop a few hours before, I can ride that wave. All of a sudden, everybody's refreshing their Spotify waiting for this new Mac Miller, and they'll see a new Eminem instead.
Surprise, murder.
Got him. Right? Is that some bullshit? Like, I'm not saying that's what he did. I'm not saying that's what he did.
I could also see the scenario.
But that's weird. Like, you can't just drop an album a couple hours before and motherfuckers not notice. We knew about the Mac Miller album. I was waiting for that shit.
I mean, there also could be the possibility that...
Ow! Fucking cat. What's wrong with you, boy? It's a girl.
I thought you got electrocuted. Damn. Hey, I was like, I knew we should have fucking taped up that string on that light.
Wow, I thought she was going to be over scratching the motherfucking chair forever, and she got me.
Got him.
Did y'all see that shit? She fucking...
I didn't see it. I saw your reaction.
Make a gift out of it, boy. I got stabbed. A fucking predator in this house, dude. I don't know what to do. It's her house, I guess.
Oh, boy. Gosh.
I mean, it's her undisclosed location. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Undisclosed. I mumble a lot, but I don't mind.
Anyways. What was I just saying?
Whatever I was saying about something else, you were going to respond to that.
Yeah, that's true. And
we got Blaze, though, so I don't know what happened. Eric, help us out, boy.
You had mentioned... I mean, it's...
Oh! Hey,
dude. Yo.
Let the record state that Khaleesi fucks with those chairs heavy.
Khaleesi's my cat, y'all, and she might be something else. I would tell her to get off, but she might eat me. Hey.
Yeah, careful.
Would you mind
usually we try and introduce her as Khaleesi, friend of the show.
I love you,
but friend of the show. Bye, Khaleesi. We'll see you again.
Well, that's cool. Just don't interrupt. You know what I mean? She came over here and scratched me. She over there fucking with you. Anyways, Eric, did you lose it again? What were we talking about just now?
I mean, still that idea of people were waiting for that Mac album.
Right.
Was that political?
But I could also see the situation where maybe Eminem had this planned for months. That he already had this album planned because now's not.
But you wouldn't change it if that was the case?
Well, so
you
I
wouldn't think about that?
He hears this news.
You don't think as a white rapper he thought of that first and was like, damn.
Well, shit, I do think of myself as a white rapper, so I should identify and speak for them.
I mean, there's no way that's something that he just dismisses about his life. He's like the iconic white rapper.
Eminem is?
Yeah. Yo, hip-hop didn't become as big as it was until Eminem blew up. Because Eminem introduced a lot of grimy hip-hop to an audience that had not earlier accepted any hip-hop.
Yep.
Including and especially white people.
Yep.
And they buy all the albums.
They do.
So when it comes to white rappers, if you're like, if you went on, what's the... Family Feud, and you ask who's the most famous white rapper, or what white rapper do you think of, or whoop-de-woo, blase blah, the number one answer is Eminem. So you don't think that as the number one white rapper, you don't think about other white rappers, whether alive or past, all right, peace?
Oh, I definitely think you do. I don't know how much Mac Miller is in the conversation, especially of that audience that really got picked up by Eminem, which is like the people who it's the people who are like, I don't really listen to rap except Eminem. You know, those people.
Yeah. Fucking
and
weirdos.
Like those people probably weren't listening to Mac Miller.
Or maybe they just
And those are the people who probably weren't really refreshing either though for the Mac Miller album. So I guess if you're talking about like riding the wave, we can exclude those folks. They got lucky. They're just like, look, yeah, a murder album from Eminem. Like, I bet their dicks were hard so quick for this album. All those people who just are like, this is the only rap I listen to.
He shared a cover of something, and I think it was Alfred Hitchcock.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the exact same cover of his cover, and it's the same name. So he named his album after some Alfred Hitchcock thing. And his cover is a replication of this thing Alfred Hitchcock did on his cover.
Interesting. His cover of
whatever it was, I don't know. You know what I'm talking
a
about?
book?
Because I saw it on Instagram, but I didn't like go into the detail as far as what it was. I just saw like, oh shit, like that's from that apparently. Maybe it was Alfred Hitchcock. Maybe it was motherfucking Freddy Krueger. I don't know. Boy, it was some horror thing.
It's Alfred Hitchcock holding a gun and an axe to his head.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, but even then, to kind of add to the fact that, like, or to what you said that Eminem was preparing this for a while, I follow this artist that does a whole bunch of, like, art for Dreamville and apparently Eminem now. And it's stuff that, like, he's shown to take some time. And he did 2 works for Eminem for this album. They're nasty.
Sounds tight.
But that still doesn't solve the mystery of why release it at the same time, or if he had planned to release it at this time.
Well, if he released it
on one of
say,
the
all
pieces
right,
of art.
So say we find out right now that he released it knowing full well that this was going on and that it was going to create controversy.
Thing.
What would it be now? Would you be upset at Eminem? Because I think that's kind of fucked up.
Would I be upset at Eminem?
Yeah. Or would you be like glad that Eminem also dropped something? Maybe you could ride. Maybe the Mac Miller estate is also riding his wave.
I mean, my honest personal opinion is, I'm glad to have new music either way from both artists.
I'm mad at that.
Personally, I'm happy to see it coming out from Mac. Like, fuck yeah, that the family is able to still do that. It seems like they're doing it in a way that nobody seems to have complained about the way that it's happening or what they did or choices they made. It doesn't seem like anything's like, blowing up or nothing. It's not some situation. So like,
you're right about that.
Like, I'm happy that that's happening. I haven't heard the album yet, but I'll definitely give it a listen, check it out, see what I think of it. And, I don't know. It's weird to have an album come out after somebody has already passed because they wrote that music beforehand. And I don't know. It's, I feel like there's like, who knows what they're going to say that might hit me now or be relevant now or, make you, it hits different a little bit because.
Or what's good and what's not. Because a lot of times, as an artist, people walk in there and they write songs, they put it all together, they think it's going to be something. And then when it's done, they're kind of like, man, that's not really my favorite. I would, so they'll end up, doing an album. Ends up being 13 tracks, but they did 27. And they chose the best 13, and those 13 were the ones chosen because they were the ones. And the rest of them are like ones that, like it's not, it's just not right for this project. Sometimes it's just like, nah, it's just not right. I don't ever want that out. And then, you pass, RIP. And then somebody comes and says like, oh, we're going to release this one because people want more content of yours. And in reality, you'd be like, damn, that one. Fuck, that sucks. And I don't mean that happens a lot, but especially I think about Tupac. I'm like, Pac has to have some songs, some verses where he was like, fuck, dude, like, you let that one out? Like,
damn, y'all.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck, I was in the middle of just some bullshit. We did like,
I was high as
we did
fuck
18.
for that.
We did 18 songs that night, and that was the weakest one. Y'all let that one out. You know what I mean? And or maybe they see it and be like, damn, that shit aged well. That shit wasn't as tight when I did it. And I don't know, man. Sure. I don't know how that go. But I just think about that when it comes to posthumous.
Humanos.
I don't know how the fuck to say that word.
I don't either.
But post-death albums.
Yeah.
Just like I think about that shit, I'm like, damn. I wonder. So I've only heard good things about the album though, so I haven't heard either.
Yeah. Well, so I wanna hear it. And Eminem's album, honestly,
I'm gonna listen to that too.
I haven't even been able to get through the last few Eminem albums that have come out. Like, I'll be honest, I tried, and like when he hits some of those songs where it sounds like old Eminem, I'm like, cool. And then I'm thinking like, well, is it just me being nostalgic for old Eminem that I just want to hear that? And this newer stuff, I'm just like wanting to hear that, so I don't like the newer like kind of cadence and shit that he fucks with, and like got all this melodic shit going on now too, thinking he can sing. I mean, he's singing, I guess.
It's true. It's true. He's sounding.
And so I'm like, I don't know. I haven't been able to get through him because at one point I just start thinking about that all the time. And then until he just starts doing what I want him, what I want him to do, but what you were kind of even alluding to earlier is like, that's what he was good at. Like, that's what blew him up. And like, just do that, my dude. Like, that's you.
But I
no
also
one's
get if
even
he's
been
like-
able to do it better than you, really.
Well, I feel that way. I'm like, yo, you should run with that flow you had that was super catchy in the early 2000s, will be super catchy again today. Just do it again. But at the same time, I feel him if he's like, yo, that's not me. That's not who I am. That's not what I do, whatever. Woo. But if it helps you to listen to it, I'm going to listen to it because I always give everything a chance.
Yeah.
And
I
if it helps
give
you to
it a
listen,
chance.
well, if it helps you to listen to it, I checked. It's got a feature by Young M.A. I don't know if you fuck with Young M.A., but I fuck with her.
good.
She's tight.
Mm-hmm.
And the beat sounds like it was even chose by her. Like she starts it off, and it was cool. But I didn't actually listen to the whole thing. I just kind of skipped through it. I saw the album,
Okay.
skipped through a few tracks to see if it would be cool. And
Any other features?
well,
Notable?
Anderson .Paak's got a feature,
Okay, that's
Oh, I
always
haven't heard that
and
one.
it sounds
he's
and
just
it
bombed
sounds
on
like
every feature he's been on like for the last 2 years.
and it sounds like an Anderson .Paak style song.
Yeah.
So it's like easy
Okay.
money.
Okay.
And there's another one with Slaughterhouse minus Joe Budden, and I hear that Eminem takes a stab at Joe Budden in the song. So that one's got like Crooked Eye and
Is D12 on the album?
Joel Ortiz and fucking
Royce the 5'9".
Royce the 5'9".
Ooh, Royce the 5'9's on there?
Yeah,
Of
but that's
course he
Slaughterhouse.
is.
Slaughterhouse is them three plus Joe Budden.
Oh.
Yeah, and
didn't know
that was a quote unquote super group that Eminem put together. But then like the whole thing happened, woo. People talked, people did whatever. I don't know what happened, podcasts and shit, and whatever, and Sirius XM stations and shit, all kinds of stuff came into play. But now, I know that that Eminem is supposed to, and I don't know if it's a stab, maybe he just mentions him. People, you know how that goes. Sometimes headlines.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to listen to it. Who else is on there? Anything tight?
Young M.A., Royce the 5'9", White Gold, Ed Sheeran, Juice WRLD, Skylar Grey.
Oh, Juice WRLD. Isn't that kid that died?
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. that
Yeah.
kid, boy.
Anderson .Paak,
That sucks.
Don Tolliver.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Me neither.
That's about it, though.
Any features on the Mac album?
I think there was one that I've heard.
Check that up real quick. Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet.
I haven't even looked
I'm
at
excited
that
for
one.
it, though.
The whole premise of the album relating to to that one and his last album is because so this one's called Circles. The last one was called Swimming.
Yeah.
The whole idea was swimming in circles. Man, I don't want to spoil it for y'all though.
Oh, yeah, let me listen to it. That sounds
Yeah.
crazy, though, already. Speaking of spoilers, let's move it from music because I feel like
Justin drank a rotten Capri-Sun.
I did Rico Rock Capri-Sun. But no, I wanted to ask you, did you watch that new shit about Aaron Hernandez?
No.
I've seen it. I know of it.
You saw it on the Netflix thing, but you didn't watch it yet?
Yeah.
Holy shit, boy. That motherfucker was crazy.
Really?
Crazy. I mean, he was crazy. And I remember hearing the rumors before. It's not like a spoiler alert or nothing. This is real life, y'all.
Kill somebody?
Kill somebody. That's what he was in jail for.
Yeah.
You know, he killed all kinds of motherfuckers apparently. But
And he played the football?
well, he might have been.
Wow.
He might have been probably been in the closet.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
What?
He was in the closet. He had a wife and kid, but they were his whatever they have. They even say in the thing what they call that.
I don't know.
In the gay community, like what they call that when you have a wife and kid, and it's like like you have a wife and stuff. And they call that your.
I guarantee
you're blank.
They have a name for it, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, they say it in the thing. Man, it's like 3 episodes or 4 episodes, are all an hour each or something, maybe 5 episodes. I don't know how many fucking episodes I watched. All a gang of that shit. That motherfucker was crazy. It was crazy. That was. Make sure y'all watch that shit on the Netflix, and then tell them motherfuckers that if I sent you there, throw me a little bit of cake.
Yep.
Not Guy over here, Guy Spencer. You don't need no more money.
Yeah. That name. Only for business use. So, good luck. It's trademarked. But yeah, I think that every time that one of our phones or something like hears us say some shit like that, and then one of our friends that they know we're connected with on some kind of social media goes and watches that shit, I think I should get a referral fee from Netflix.
You should go watch that shit because it's crazy.
Yeah, when we get big enough, we definitely got to get like affiliate links for everything.
Did y'all fuck with Don't Fuck with Cats?
No.
God
I haven't
damn.
watched the
I haven't
episode
finished
since
it.
the show.
It's been like three goddamn weeks. Boy.
Yeah, because I was like, this just seems
Crazy.
like it's only gonna be more torment and misery.
Nah, it's crazy.
You should watch American Vandal.
American Vandal. Ooh, I seen that on the list.
That's the one that is like shot in the same style and like edited in the same style as the cat movie kind of is, but it's all like a farce. And it's like high school kids doing a documentary about like this, I think it's a prank that goes on at the school and trying to like solve who did it. It's outrageous. Like it's so
That's what
outrageous.
that's about.
And it's hilarious because it's shot in the same exact style, like narrated by high school students, but in that same like the same way that cat killer movie is.
Yeah.
It's
Like a documentary.
it's so funny. Like the first season I thought was awesome. The second season was good, but I didn't like eat it up as much. The first one I was just like, oh my god.
It's not about graffiti?
Hilarious.
Oh, is that the one that? Oh, it was the same people?
What?
Is it the one that was where it was a school and somebody kept graffitiing penises on the cars?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
It's
Oh, it is
fucking
about
hilarious.
graffiti. Oh, so it's not about good graffiti. It's trash.
No, not graffiti that way. It's just
Then they shouldn't call it American Vandal.
why not?
Because all the Vandals I know bomb. They do that, and in reality, they like do something tight. Me, that would look like a squeeze. Yo, speaking of that, y'all ever seen the unedited videos of the people doing the kids doing the Mickey Mouse corner from the old Disney Channel shit? It'd be like, you're watching Disney Channel, and they would do that, and like Disney Channel would make it the Mickey Mouse ears. But then somebody took the unedited versions and made a drawing of what they actually went over.
Blobs.
Oh man, it's so funny.
Hilarious.
So funny. Anyways, how we looking on time there, Eric?
I want to say about 1:30.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, we can start wrapping it up. We talked about music and everything.
Oh, speaking of music though, are we gonna do the playlist still?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, catch us on a Spotify playlist. Lone Ranger vs. Tonto
LRVT
or LRVT
weekly.
LRVT weekly. Don't listen to me.
Updated weekly. Be adding songs every week. About 7, maybe less.
Based
maybe
on
more.
shit we like. Whatever it is, us three are fucking with. Whether we talked about it or we just fucking with it. Throw
That's
it on
it.
the weekly. So
How do you
maybe it's
know when
cool.
it was added? Look at how many times. Fuck, what's the song?
You don't remember the fucking
Nothing but
song.
a G thing?
No,
No.
that one
That
wasn't on
song's not on
Spotify.
Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
International Players Anthem.
Oh yeah, international play. That's the divider between episodes.
Just if
Or
you have
between
it on
weeks.
shuffle,
Yeah.
it'll show up and
Because you can't
Yeah.
never hear that song enough times.
That's an anthem. It's in the title.
International Players Anthem.
That's it.
What else you gonna do?
you know what's another anthem? The song that's starting right now.
Boy, I heard that song already. You wasn't listening? It's been on for about at least 10 seconds now.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
This motherfucker, he still don't hear shit? Are you for real? Goddamn, Robin Williams over here. So give it up, Guy Spencer. Up in this motherfucker. My name is Justin. That's Eric right there. Hell yeah. And thank you for joining us. We have a different editing every time. This is tight. I feel like we haven't figured this part out. Do something. Now it's your turn. Try some shit. I passed you the ball. What happens?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for joining us for
Boy, that's what I said.
Oh fuck. God damn it. I don't even have any more beer.
Me either.
God damn it.
This boy took a. It's your outro. You took a drink of water.